What's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
And this is episode 4 of Das Rings of Power. Of the Lord of the Rings. The Rings of Power. The rings. So many
Nailed
rings.
Nailed it. Yeah, I still don't love the title.
I don't either.
Yeah, it's fine.
I feel like the title puts them in a position where they have to rush to the rings being forged.
Yeah.
Because they like if they don't forge the rings in season 1, the title's going to be weird.
People will be like, what?
Yeah. But we'll get there when we get there. Right now, we are in Numenor. We're in the Southlands. Do you think we're going to see Khazad-dum this episode? Is Khazad-dum going to be like every other episode?
Oh, maybe.
With like Durin and Disa?
I definitely hope we get more of Elrond and Celebrimbor, and hopefully because of that, the dwarves as well. So
some Eregion action?
I would like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's honestly what I'm most interested in the show, apart from our captured elf guy.
Orendir.
I always forget his name.
Yeah.
I'm like Elendir, the Oramus. I can't.
Too many names.
Too many fantasy names.
I agree with you. Before we get into this, a couple things I want to say. First, if you want to watch the full-length reaction, patreon.com/nerdynightly is the place to go. It will go up around the same time that it goes up on YouTube, except YouTube processes videos faster, and so the YouTube version's usually up faster.
Yeah, sorry.
We upload it to Patreon, and then it just is like processing forever.
It takes a while. It's not our fault.
Second thing, if you want a Narg Smart shirt, I'm wearing one, so I might as well plug. This is our merch, Narg Smart. Go over to the merch. It's in the link.
It's in the link.
It's a weird link. So let's get into the reaction.
Hell yeah.
All right, patrons, open up Prime Video, or however you watch this. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's Prime Video everywhere. You know how some...
It could, yeah.
Like, we watch House of the Dragon on Crave.
And not HBO.
However you do it.
Or you could sync up a different show if you're feeling chaotic, you know?
Sync up Lost Season 3, Episode 5. And watch this reaction with that.
When the sea trial begins and that ship launches, you will be on it.
Why do you think they gave Isildur a sister? Fair.
I have no idea.
You're still short an army.
That is all about to change.
Not with your diplomacy skills.
May Numenor's strength arise in thee. Her wisdom guide thy steps.
Does the queen bless every baby?
Maybe not everyone, but... I don't know, if I was like queen and they were like, do you want to meet like a couple babies every day to remind you about the beauty of life? I'd be down for that. That's cool.
Sure.
That is a gorgeous shot. Well done. I'm obsessed with her crown.
Is she having a vision?
She must be, right?
Yeah.
It is a perfect day, Queen Regent.
Okay. Cool.
That shot? Wow, that was beautiful.
Cleverness to men of small ambition. I'd much rather it if you were wise, my son.
Ooh, sick burn.
Some people would say the same thing about Galadriel.
Elf workers, taking your trades.
Wait, what? There's no elves.
Who raised Armenelos, triumph of our civilization. But now one elf could threaten us.
He went to a lot of trade schools.
He's great.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. I hope my hair looks that good when I'm at his age.
My friends, trust in me. I swear that elven hands will never take Numenor's helm. Drinks all round!
Drinks? What?
All right.
Where did the wine come from?
I have no idea.
I just want them to cut to a bunch of people being like, no, it's the middle of the day. I'm good.
I love that everybody has like really dark hair and there is the one ginger.
It's Rand. That was well done.
My troubles have been too hard won.
I like it.
I'm coming. And your name is...
Hey, Arian. Plans. Now.
Did he say his name was Kevin?
Huh?
Did he say his name was Kevin?
No, no.
That would be hilarious.
And I suppose Elendil here is a runic emperor.
Petty lord, actually.
I call on you to finish the task left undone. To reforge the alliance between Numenor and elves.
She's like, girl, what?
I dare say yours is the most surprising and ambitious I've heard in weeks.
Only weeks?
What happened a couple weeks ago?
This audience has ended.
She gonna do magic?
I would hope so.
One with Numenor's true ruler. Your father, the king. And you should stand aside. That I might present my proposal to one who holds the authority to answer it.
What did you think was gonna happen?
Don't tell me.
All right.
I hope that was intentional.
I have no idea.
Are you gonna...
So now there must be some sort of mistake.
It was my fault.
You're off the sea guard. All three of you.
What? Wait, what?
I thought the sailmaster would only dismiss me. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
You did? Oh my god.
You sorry? You just set our whole lives on fire!
Leave it to you to get kicked out of something you never earned in the first place. Since I was big enough to hold in all I wanted on that vote. What have you ever done but brood and blubber about your dead mother? Stop it! Stop it!
You ruined your friends' lives and then you punch them in the face. I mean,
do they want us to like the protagonists of the show?
well, oh my gosh, wow. The problem is...
I like him. Oranger's great.
Isildur is the one who doesn't throw the ring in the fire, so...
That's true. That's true. Yo!
Wow. His ears are so swollen.
Nampak Uglur.
Sympathy on the side of the evil in Lord of the Rings is not a very common thing, so this is cool.
I don't know why Sauron had an emotional response to killing an orc.
I don't think that's Sauron.
You don't?
No.
Isn't that what they... yeah, okay. I don't know.
No, they call him Adar, which means father, right?
Go to the men who've taken refuge in the old watchtower. Deliver to them a message.
What message?
Okay. He looks incredible.
Yeah,
As a
reminds
villain?
me...
Cool.
He reminds me of Bootstrap Bill from Pirates of the Caribbean.
He reminded me of, from the beginning of Game of Thrones, Stark, Ned's brother.
Brother?
Yeah, Uncle Benjen.
Oh.
Theo! You can either help me, or you can make it harder.
If the option you're giving him is don't do anything, then he can't actually help you.
Yeah.
Should never have let you talk me into this. Don't be such a soft belly. Come on.
Boys can get other boys to do anything with the mildest insult.
Yeah.
I'm nervous once they go inside anywhere and there's shade.
Yeah.
Oh, well that worked. All right, never mind.
I mean, they're still in the village.
Roland, Tom, I'm not going in there. There might be more food.
You guys are already carrying a lot.
I'll go.
The cart literally runneth over. It is impressive that you can't see the sword in the impression on his back.
Yep.
Roland?
Run, boy, run!
did you get that?
What?
Oh!
Give it here.
That was pretty rad.
Why did he stab himself?
Because when the blood is going into the blade, it's a full sword.
Where is he? He's hiding his...
Just under the bucket. That would make so much noise.
Yeah.
Dude,
Could've
come up
just,
quietly.
Like, yeah. You weren't even under
Cool,
for
though.
that long.
I'm down for that.
Are you suggesting Durin's got himself a wee girlfriend?
There is none other than you, milady.
I know. Who'd have him? Was there anything else you wanted to ask about, dearie?
Oh, Elrond, you screwed up.
God, it was Khazad. Not bad.
I just hope he believed me.
He did not.
We're making good progress in the old mine.
Would that be the deep one?
What do your elf eyes see?
The old mine below the Mirror.
You lost elf.
I know exactly where I'm going.
How did it open? That's super cool. I like the dwarf armor a lot.
Yeah.
I think
the
I've done a
dwarf
good
design's very cool.
Oh. Also, he was like fully exposed on a bridge. Like,
Yeah, if they had turned around, they would have seen him looking.
he could have been like peeking around a corner, but they're like, no, he's in the middle of the bridge.
Yeah.
Secret tunnel through the mountains.
Rich crown, kiss the stone, polish your gems and gold.
All right.
It's a better password than speaking friend in Elvish.
Melon. Do you think it's Mithril?
It has to be, right? They dig for Mithril until they find the Balrog?
I think that's... Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Knew it! Kept a spy on me, elf. Dwarven anger outlives even elven memory.
I believe that.
Stone will doom you and your kin to sorrow to your last day on this Middle Earth. Do you swear it, Elrond?
Durin is so dramatic.
Yeah.
I swear on the memory of my father, Earendil the Mariner. Anything you tell me here will end in my ears alone.
No other elf could find this too, because he only knows that password because they're friends, right?
And you are
Mithril.
keep it. Token of our friendship. Durin, no! There's 4 dwarves down there!
I like Durin a lot.
I think the Balrog is going to show up in this season.
Well, he's in the trailer, so yeah, they've already...
Oh, right.
He was in that one trailer, so the Balrog...
I assumed it was... Yeah, okay. The thing is, they haven't been digging for that... The way they make it sound is they delve too greedily and too deep over, like, many, many generations. But...
It's a condensed timeline.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm Nar.
It's all right, honestly.
Not the villain from Gladiator.
Scrubbing is good for dexterity.
His outfit is so Roman inspired, it's like...
Yeah.
So how about this? I'll do the floors and you do the goblets, and the last one to finish pays for dinner.
Smooth.
He seems charming enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's dressed a little pompously, but like, you know.
Honestly, everyone he is.
That's, you know what, fair.
Really, right?
That's
Like,
fair.
did you see what his dad was wearing?
Oh, that's his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
The beard and the
I
hair.
thought that was his, I thought he was his, like, apprentice.
No, he calls him
Missed it.
son.
Missed it.
Has it ever occurred to you that you're not battling trolls or orcs? It seems to me that you do well to identify what it is that your opponent most fears.
And I suppose you did, having met her for all of a few moments.
During which you managed to demand a ship, insult her people, defy her orders. See what happens when you stop galloping. And you give yourself a moment to think.
Cease comparing me to a horse.
You are to be shipped back to the elves under armed escort tonight.
Cool.
So Galadriel is stupid.
Yes.
Great. Love that. Love that for our strong female character.
Our 7,000-year-old Galadriel needs... Cool. Do they not have, like, an alarm? Like, okay.
What are you doing up here?
I had a dinner.
I had a date, bro.
Now you can go west.
I just ruined my friends' lives.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shamed our family name.
Yep.
I don't deserve to go west.
But there were whispers.
His father won't let me take Beric.
Are they trying to go to Valinor?
No.
Valinor is the only thing west of Numenor, though.
No, the west part of Numenor.
Oh, okay.
Which I think is where the king is being held.
No, he's in the tower. He's right there.
Oh, I thought...
Yeah. He's exiled to the top of that tower.
Oh. I don't know how I missed that.
Apologies, Your Majesty, for the intrusion. But
He no longer answers to that.
It's all right, Father. I'm here. Forgive me.
There was unease. And when he announced plans to renew relations with the elves,
the people rebelled.
That first night, as all Numenor slept, he brought me here.
So Sauron, but through the Palantir.
Okay.
Also, was that sword Narsil?
It looked like it.
This one was passed to my father. And with it, a secret. Place your hand upon it.
Don't do that. That's a very bad idea.
Whoa, that was cool.
Yeah, it was.
That is why tomorrow, I will announce that you are gone. And this crisis ended.
Stand with me. Let Numenor fight alongside the elves once more.
I'm sorry.
It's true. Her people would...
Never work with the elves, yeah.
Riot.
I'm not sure I fully... it's fine.
What?
The idea that, like, the Numenorians all bought into that same prophecy, and so they gave up on the elves because an elf one day would bring about...
No, the elves, or the Numenorians don't know the prophecy.
I know, but that's why I don't understand why they all hate elves. I was hoping that scene would explain that. Like, where the dismay between elves and Numenorians came, but it didn't. Dude, you're still after the food? You're gonna leave a trail to you.
Yeah, that sack is open. They're literally gonna be able to follow that.
Okay, I was worried about that pan around. Why are you running towards the village?
I think he's trying to run through it to the other side as opposed to around it. He's Aiel.
He's very lucky.
He's Aiel. That makes sense. Oh, shit.
Loosen your arm will loosen your lips.
Orendir! Let's go!
They are coming.
I was not expecting that.
You know that kid's like, God damn it, it's my mom's boyfriend.
That's how you win a lady's heart. You save her son from orcs.
Hey, if that doesn't get you laid, I don't know what will. I still think my favorite thing about this show so far is the orc design.
Yeah.
I think they look incredible.
Yeah. Fuck off.
That was a cool shot. Where did he get a bow? Oh, I guess the orcs have bows, so he may have just stolen one.
I'm worried this is going to be like a Boromir moment. Oh, please don't die.
I mean, he has to make it back, right? Because they need to hear his message.
Yeah, if he dies, we can't. We have no idea what was said.
Saved by the sun. Gotta love it. That all looked really beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that sword.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got his elvish weapons back. I don't know how.
Adar was like, go back to your people. Also, here's everything you need.
Here's the thing. They're not far enough away that the arrows won't hit them from the trees.
Doesn't Adar want them to get back, though?
Yeah, but I think he gave him the stone to, like,
Beautiful.
free himself. He didn't free him.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
Oh, he's out of arrows. Look at that.
That doesn't happen in Lord of the Rings.
Wow, their bows have very short range.
No, they were aiming in the vicinity of where they were.
No, it was like...
A bit intentionally. Oh, it's Disa singing. Oh, cool. Let's go.
Oh, it's a funeral.
It's the title sequence.
None of the dwarf women have beards yet.
No.
That's too bad.
She has, like, mutton chops. But...
It was a plea to the Orcs to release the bodies of the miners with breath still inside them.
They just pulled out the last one. Alive. All of them alive.
Let's go, Durin!
The whole vein is to be sealed off.
The whole vein?
All of it!
Does he have a belt loop for his beard?
Even the hottest coals eventually cool.
Well, sometimes I wish they wouldn't. Sometimes I wish I could tell him exactly what I think of him.
How is it that you and my husband met?
I told you, I saved him from a hill troll. Two
Two
of
of
them.
them. Yes, I know. I was asking Elrond.
There were 3 trolls, and it was I who saved him.
Every time the 3 of them are on screen together, it's money.
It's
money.
Good. So good.
This part of the show is
The screaming was
amazing.
so high-pitched, I thought it was a child.
It's fun because...
Forgive me, Father.
For I have sinned.
I'm stubborn. And I was wrong.
Oh no.
Can you not even look at me?
Durin. Oh, okay.
Our people believe that when a new dwarf king is crowned, the voices of all his forebears flow into him. You need not wait for that day to hear my voice.
Well
I
done.
was so scared he was gonna be dead, and Durin's like,
I know, me too.
would have like
Oh my
gone out with
God.
his dad. Nah.
Has invited me to go with him to London tomorrow.
Go to London. Find out what.
Let's go.
Cool.
I hope that this becomes like Elrond and Durin investigating Eregion.
Yeah.
Do a little like Hardy Brothers.
Oh my god, that was so good. And the dwarves look great.
No.
Thank you.
Just like you took that hilt from me, boy. You know of what I speak.
Oh!
Do you know what it is? Have you heard of him, lad? Have you heard of Sauron?
Wow.
That makes more sense now.
Mm-hmm.
You save your strength. You'll need it for what's coming.
It's in the tower.
Maybe he is... Nope, never mind. The rings aren't made yet.
No.
F's in chat for Numenor.
They probably got like a few more episodes.
They'll be gathering soon in the court and in the plaza to hear your announcement.
God, I want her headdresses.
I know, they're all impeccable.
I'm obsessed. And that way, when you like add something to your hair, you don't have to like do much with it. Like, just put something in it, make it look nice.
Like that crown you bought.
Yeah. I might get a few more of those.
God, he's awesome.
Yeah.
The Elendil casting is amazing.
Yep.
Okay.
Uh-oh. It was then she realized she fucked up.
Right?
Faithful believes that when the petals of the white tree fall, 'tis no idle thing.
And so, I've decided to personally escort the elf back to Middle-earth.
Our ships will depart in 10 days.
The expeditionary force.
Wait, what? Did she come back?
Yes.
Who is willing to commit themselves to our Queen Regent's protection?
Did she, like, yell for the boat to turn around?
Step forward and make yourself known.
I will serve.
I will serve.
Okay. All right.
What? I'm sorry, what happened?
So...
Was it a vision, or did the
she
petals...
sent Galadriel away.
Yeah.
And then the petals started to fall. And so the Numenorians view the petals falling as the Valar telling her that she made the wrong choice.
Yes.
And so she called Galadriel back to be like, yo, okay, I'm coming. Let's go to war. And so now the Numenorians are going to ride to the defense of the Southlands with Galadriel. Because the gods told them to.
All right. Sure.
Cool. Episode 4. What do you think?
There was some good stuff in there.
There was.
The Elrond Durin Disa, that is carrying the show, in my opinion. It's sad that we missed it last week.
I don't know. I don't think it's the only thing. I think all of the Orindir Southland stuff this episode I really liked. Like the kid getting around the camp was a little like TV tropey, like the like sneaky bit, but like I don't love when sneaking is treated as like humor. I find that sometimes very like the like falling and then the orcs stepping out at the right time. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, the Orindir Southland stuff I'm interested in. I wish there weren't so many characters on the show that they're like, just you wait for this mystery to be revealed.
I guess I just feel like, what's his name? Our father?
Adar?
Adar. I think it seems strange for Adar to send an elf with his message into a bunch of humans.
Yes.
I think that if he actually wanted them to swear fealty, he would send a human.
I think he was letting the elf go because he's also an elf.
He seems like he is, like maybe he was one of the first elves that was ever like captured by Morgoth and like twisted.
Something, yeah.
And so he's like the first, which is why he's father.
Or he's Sauron. Like right now, it could be anything, right?
I guess.
But then who is the stranger and all the Harfoots who aren't in this episode? I think what's weird about this show for me is that the Khazad-dum Eregion plot feels very far away from the Southlands plot, and Galadriel, who feels like she's meant to be the main character of the show.
Yeah.
Her plot is the least important right now.
Yeah.
Because it's all about like future stuff.
Yes.
It's about setting up future stuff. And so Orendir's plot feels like it is the most pressing because it's where things are actually happening right now.
Yeah.
But that feels like it's given like the least amount of time, as if it's the least important, but it is the most active. And so I think because of that, the balance of the show is a little bit off for me, in that the stuff with Galadriel is the least active, in that it is really just people talking to each other.
Yeah.
But it is being given the most weight in terms of plot time, right?
Yeah, and I wish we'd gotten a little more answers, like you said, about the relationship with the elves.
I didn't really like this scene. She's like, I need you to explain to me. And then the woman didn't really explain much.
Yeah.
And so I just wish they'd set up why the Numenorians and the elves first split. Because I get that like her dad wanted them to reunite.
Yeah.
And that the Numenorians were against that. But why did they split in the first place?
Yeah.
And then that's my biggest question, because I don't know, and maybe it's just a lore thing, maybe it's just in the Tolkien lore that they split, but like I don't know that answer.
But that's my problem, right? Is you cannot rely on people knowing lore stuff to understand what's going on when you are deviating from the lore. You can't have it both ways, right?
If Galadriel knew and didn't want to talk about it, it would be different to me. Like if Halbrand asked and she was like, it was a long time ago, but Galadriel being like, the Donald, they just stopped one day, and then she's demanding answers, and she doesn't have a follow-up question. Also, the scene in the prison where Halbrand like mansplains
like diplomacy 101.
The simplest diplomacy to her.
Yeah.
And she's like, don't talk to me like I'm a horse. And I was like, wow. It really is shocking that this like 25-year-old man is able to explain such a simple concept to you, and that you have like seemingly no idea what's going on in that conversation.
And yet people are like, oh, so woke. I'm like, what? Like when you have that kind of relation, literally like Halbrand is not really a leader. His people are scattered.
Street smart.
He's street smart. But this whole like diplomacy of being in a courtroom of a literal queen, like Galadriel should know. It's
here's the thing. I have no problem with Halbrand's advice. Halbrand's advice is good advice.
Yes, it is.
The problem I have with the scene is that Galadriel is being treated as if she's so driven by physical violence that she doesn't understand almost anything else.
Like nuance or relationship or...
And like in the last episode, Elendil basically talks to her as if he's like, you literally reminded me of my children. She's 6,000 to 10,000 years old. She's literally older than the sun.
Yeah.
There is no character on the show who is older than her.
Yeah, she's older than...
But almost everyone treats her like she's young.
Uh-huh.
And she's wrong in how she treats almost everyone. And characters are just constantly looking at her and going like, hey, maybe don't do it that way.
Yeah.
And it's just frustrating to me that she's the protagonist.
Yeah.
I wish she wasn't.
I wish it was Galadriel's daughter. Bad. I think that would be so
If the story was Celebrian rebelling against the way that her mom is, then the character would make more sense.
Yes, I would be very into that.
Yeah, but because she is Galadriel...
It's strange.
It's gone beyond, like, whether or not the character's well written. It is intentional what they are doing. Like, that scene is very much a human man who is younger than, maybe 35 at the oldest. Maybe. Yeah. He straight up talks down to her as if she's an idiot in that scene. And, like, that's intentional. That is the writing. And I don't understand what they think the audience is supposed to feel about the protagonist of the show, watching her essentially be told, hey, like, maybe behave like an adult.
Yeah.
Because that's I mean, his advice is better than that, but like...
But it's basically, that is the bottom line.
But like, he literally is like, hey, take a second to think. Meanwhile, Galadriel is like patience and virtue and wisdom personified. Like, that is her character.
Yes. There's a reason she is a guardian of one of the rings.
And like, I get the idea of like a journey, and that like by the end of the show she'll be wise, but she's 6,000. She's the oldest person on the show. And so the disconnect between her being the oldest character on the show and also the dumbest is really like so strange to me.
It is very odd.
And it's not me inventing that. The show keeps telling me. Every character she interacts with keeps like talking down to her
and is right.
And are all and the show, it's not even like we're assuming the characters are right. The show wants us to believe that they're right.
Yeah.
The show wants us to agree with Elendil. The show wants us to agree with Halbrand.
Yeah.
And so the show wants us to think she's incompetent at person-to-person communication.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why. Like, I can't figure it out. Truly, I can't figure it out.
I don't know. Maybe it's because later on they're going to show the differences between Elrond and Galadriel, but they're not, like, that would be so far down. I don't know. I'm trying to justify it in my head, and honestly, I can't. The one thing that I wanted to say earlier, I think it's funny. I think that the Lord of the Rings shines the most in its elf and dwarf relationships. I think most people's favorite relationship from the trilogy is Gimli and Legolas, right? What they did for the movies. They have this special kind of...
I don't know. I feel like Sam and Frodo is the defining relationship of that trilogy.
Okay, sure. You can
know what I
argument.
mean? Like, I think Sam, I don't think there is a more moving moment in 2000, from 2000 to 2010. I don't think there is a better moving moment in terms of a relationship than Frodo picking up Sam or Sam picking up Frodo and carrying him up Mount Doom.
I guess.
I can't carry the ring, Frodo, but I can carry you is one of the most iconic, like, friendship scenes in all of cinema.
I'm saying, though, I do know a lot of people who are like Legolas and Gimli. That's
for sure, yeah. They're number 2.
Well, to you. I'm just saying that, like, and then we have this in what's working for me the best in this show is the dwarf and elven relationship.
It's because they have a relationship.
Yeah.
Like, they're the only characters that we spend a significant amount of time with who
have a relationship. You're right.
Know each other.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, you're right.
Everyone just keeps meeting people. This show is about characters meeting other characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's why it's bloated for me, right? Is that there's a lot of people getting to know each other, which reintroduces characters we've met before again and again and again.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are right, though. I see what you're saying about Gimli and Legolas.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I feel like I was...
No, you're fine. There are a lot of people for whom, like, the series shines when it's Frodo and Sam. And there are a lot of people who, like, they're very different kinds of relationships, right? Like,
well, because one is already a relationship at the beginning, and one is, like, the full-on growth of a relationship.
Yeah. And I think that's really... Like, how they portray that is really amazing. But.
One thing in this episode that really worked for me is Disa. Disa's the best.
She's great.
I tweeted out that I would die for Disa, and that continues to be the case.
That still holds true.
I think everything in Khazad-dum is magic. Like, I really do. I think that storyline, because I understand everyone's emotional motivations, I understand the relationships between the characters, I understand how they're changing, I understand not only what the characters want to achieve, but I also understand what the characters want to achieve within their relationships to one another.
Yeah.
Like the scene between Durin and his dad in this episode, that's money right there, right? Like that is brilliant and acted well, and all of the characters in all of those scenes managed to be like desirous, but also caring. They're empathetic. They're smart. Like they're talented in different ways that build each other up, right? Like Elrond's gifts for communication are different than Durin's gifts for communication, but when they put them together and they actually allow each other to communicate, each other's gifts build each other up. Disa makes Durin better, Durin makes Disa better, Disa makes Elrond better. Like I feel like Elrond learned from Disa in this episode in a way that I really loved.
Yeah.
And so when the show is in Khazad-dum, this show is awesome.
Yeah.
It's kicking ass.
Yeah.
When the show is in the Southlands, I'm super into it. I want to get to know Orindir a little bit better. I think what I'm missing right now, and it's why I was upset that all of the elves keep getting killed off.
Yeah, because we don't have any way to relate to him at the moment. All we know about him is that he's an old elf and he's a fighter. Like, we don't know how he reacts emotionally to stressors or situations or
he doesn't react.
People I guess. There's nothing there for us to really, relate to. I'm hoping that we get a bit more from him.
But I find his performance fascinating, and I think that a lot of his action scenes, the actor, I should know his name, but the actor in playing Orindir moves in a way that feels right for elf and elf combat.
Yeah.
So I really feel like the casting of him is carrying a character who is lightly written so far. And I think that when we start to dive into him, I think that he's just a tough nut to crack.
Yeah.
But he's interesting enough that I'm able to get over it.
Yeah.
We didn't get any Harfoots this episode.
Yeah.
So like really we got 3 storylines, right? We got Orendir, we got Khazad-dum, and we got Galadriel and the Numenorians. And crazily enough, the Galadriel Numenorian stuff is the only thing that didn't really work for me. Yeah. And I thought Numenor was going to be like wild to be in.
Yeah.
But her prison break was just like not my favorite scene.
Yeah.
Also, I like that Halbrand's like, try diplomacy, and then she immediately fights those guys. climbs that giant dildo on the outside, and then breaks in, and she gets in, and she's like, oh, he's dying. Oh, I'm an asshole. And she's like, yeah, you're an asshole. Like,
Yep.
It's wild. Because I want to like her. I really do. Like, I have nothing against her. I just... I
just don't.
I don't. And the show doesn't seem to want me to.
No.
And the show seems to, like, want me to think she's dumb. And I don't like that. Like, I don't like that she's so... She's just... And look, maybe if I just had... Maybe if I had never, like, seen Galadriel in anything, I would feel differently towards the character. But it is just really hard to buy that this woman is so old and so easily talked down to by so many people.
Even if we look at this and we take away Galadriel's status and age, she's a new character and a new person.
Yeah.
It is still infuriating to have her as the main character because she just pisses me off. Like, she just does the wrong thing most of the time. Like,
so does Isildur in this episode, though.
Yeah, well, he fucked up, but he's also like kind of the villain of the Lord of the Rings in a sense of like the pre-movie. I mean, anyways.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I find Isildur more interesting if he is a really good man who is corrupted by the ring.
Yeah.
And if he's not like a man of prophecy, like I find the idea of making it this whole like, oh, of course Isildur did it. He was fated to do it the whole time.
The mountains whispered to him.
Yeah, that I find less compelling as a character.
Yeah.
I don't love prophecy stories. I find prophecies to be sometimes cheap in terms of storytelling, especially when like the prophecy in this episode in particular on Numenor, I find difficult because the prophecies have led to this enmity among Numenorians and elves. But the prophecy is a secret, so how did it do that?
I don't know.
Is a question that like the show didn't want to answer.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, oh, they just don't like each other because of the prophecy that like you have to have touched the Palantir to know.
Yeah.
Is a strange it's a strange storytelling device that just kind of now doesn't matter because it allows Galadriel to win over the Numenorians without having to win them over herself. Like, it's convenient now. She did not win them over with her ability to change. She did not win them over with a rousing speech. It wasn't Galadriel that did it. It was the fact that the Valar decided to make the tree wilt.
Yeah, she's not able to, like, humble herself to, like, make any progress. It's literally that the tree started crying.
Well, but even in the moment where she breaks into the dying king's room, sees that he's dying, she's like, I'm sorry. But now I have to demand things from you again. Yeah. Like, she can't even pull the woman into another room. She makes demands over her father's dying body.
Yeah.
Is wild.
Yeah.
She is so cold that even at his deathbed, she's still like, I demand the truth from you. Yeah. And that is unsettling, to say the least.
Yeah, and she also, like, doesn't offer, like, she offers nothing in return. Like, if you want to work with people, you have to not be so abrasive. Like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we're going too hard on the Galadriel thing. I feel like it is consistently the one thing in the show that just has yet to work for me in any of the episodes.
I agree.
And everything else does.
Yeah.
And like, there are people who are legitimately just like, I don't like that she's a warrior. And like, I don't really care about that. She's like 10,000, conservatively, let's say she's 6,000.
Yeah.
That's about as young as she could possibly be.
I think so.
6,000 years old, right? She's literally older than the sun. She has to be a few thousand years old.
Yeah.
Of course she knows how to use a sword. She should know how to use every weapon. Like, there is not a fighting style she wouldn't know.
Yeah.
She can probably play every instrument. At 6,000 years old, you would be so capable at literally everything because you've had time to learn literally everything.
Yes, when you have all the time in the world and you don't sleep.
Yeah.
You
then
fill your time with things.
So I have no problem with her being the world's greatest warrior because she should be better at it than anyone who's under 5,000.
Yeah.
Right? The problem is that that's all she is.
Yeah.
She's just really good with the sword and she's right. Why she's right is because she believes she's right. She has not seen evidence that she's right. She just is right, right? That is the foundation of her character right now.
Yeah, she saw a brand.
Yes.
That
hundreds of years ago.
Yes.
And
made her believe Sauron was still a threat.
Well, she saw the brand again in the castle, right?
Yes.
And when she touched it, it burned. So and maybe it's still burning means that he's still alive. I guess that's her like reasoning.
Maybe, yeah.
That's fine. She's right, and she's a warrior. Those are her only two character traits right now.
Yeah.
She's bad at everything else.
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't say those are only two character traits. She's definitely abrasive.
Sorry, her only two like positive character traits right now.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Other than like beauty, obviously she's attractive, but I don't really care about that. It just doesn't matter to me, right?
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't matter.
It's not important to this story. What's important to this story is that she's diplomatic and she builds alliances. And I don't believe that this version of this character will build an alliance.
Nope.
Why would you fight alongside her?
Nah, I don't know.
She just tells you what to like. She's so unforgiving in every scene.
Yeah.
Except with Elrond. So I guess maybe like she'll start.
That was one scene in like episode 1.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's tough. I'm having a hard time because I like the show so much, and then it cuts to her, and I'm like, please do something that makes me like you, and then she doesn't, and it's continuous. But God damn it, Doran's great.
Yeah, that scene, Durin and his dad, that was really beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. How are you feeling about the show as a whole? Like, where are you at with it?
It just feels disjointed and messy. Like, I feel like I can't have an opinion of the show as a whole because it is not a whole.
Mm-hmm.
It is giving me different stories, and none of them have a through line or a message that they all can tie back into. Like, I have nothing to connect any of these things together.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm watching several different shows, and some of them are working for me, and some of them are really not. And so I don't know how to answer that as a whole, because this show does not feel whole. And that's not that the season's not done. That has nothing to do with that the story's not, like, complete, but it's not whole. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I do feel you. I don't know what they're gonna do because I don't know how they're going to bring these storylines together in a way that will matter to each other. The individually the stories matter, obviously, but like I don't really know how the Eregion storyline and the Southlands storyline meet in the middle at any point. And part of the reason for that is that those events in the lore happen over 1,000 years apart.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. The stuff in the Southlands never happens in the lore. That's all made up. But the Numenorians stuff happen. It's 1,000 years apart, right?
Yeah, the Numenorians, and then also the rings, but then the finding of the Mithril. Like, it's just, it is disjointed.
By condensing the timelines, which is what they've done, and I'm fine with that. I think that like this would be a very unwieldy ship if they had tried to tell a 3,000-year story, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But by condensing the timelines and taking plots that are separate short stories from different timelines and putting them in a show together, they don't connect on a thematic level or on a... Like, one of these is an action-adventure show, and one of these is a political drama, and they're different. They're just different shows.
Yeah.
And I don't see them connecting anytime soon. And so that leads me to wonder, like, what the... I guess, like, maybe Galadriel passes through Eregion on her way south, and so some of these characters meet up and then separate again. But I don't really see until the end of the show how these things come together in a way. Like, without the Harfoots in this episode, okay, the Harfoots are completely unrelated.
Yeah.
Like, the Harfoot storyline could literally go all 5 seasons, never connect, and I wouldn't have a problem with it because I don't understand what it has to do with anything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It feels like a different show.
And, like, who the stranger is doesn't matter to me because all of the characters who matter to the Last Alliance of Men and Elves have been introduced already.
Yeah.
And he's not there.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't really care who he is because I don't see what his purpose is within the other storylines they're telling. And I don't care about the Harfoot storyline because their job is to go set up the Shire.
Yeah.
Like, okay. And if he's Tom Bombadil and he settles down near the hobbits,
no,
is that just going to be like a side story that just happens along? They have to connect somehow, and I don't see how they connect. Like, I don't see a purpose in them connecting.
Yeah, honestly, like, what they should have done is they should have like they should have taken a page out of like Marvel's book, and they should have had like a show, a Lord of the Rings show that's just about the Harfoots. And then, you know, that has like a season or 2. And then they have a Lord of the Rings show and it's just about Numenor. And they have and then it comes together like eventually like Endgame does, where all the characters meet one another and they have this like big epic battle. Like, it feels like that's almost what they're trying to do, but in 1 season of television.
Here's
that
the
is
thing.
Wild.
I think ultimately what the failure of this show for me has nothing to do with the writers, nothing to do with the making of the show. I think it has to do with conceiving a show from... Hey, Tolkien Estate, what are we allowed? Literally, like, write down a list of things that we're allowed to use, and then we will make a show out of that list of things that we're allowed to use.
Yep,
and
I agree. That is the biggest problem, is that there's stuff that they have to write around or that they have to change, and it feels... It feels like there's things that are missing or that are, like, that don't make sense, and, like, it's really noticeable.
It's almost like they took an anthology show that had 4 different seasons, and then someone like fan edited them into 1 season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I really, like, at what point do the Harfoots and the Stranger matter to the elves?
No idea. No idea.
At what point is Sauron gonna meet Celebrimbor? Like, that should be the Sauron-Celebrimbor relationship should be the central relationship in the Rings of Power. If this show is about the forging of the Rings of Power, the most important 2 characters in that show are Celebrimbor, the man who forges the rings, and Sauron, the man who helps and then forges his own ring. Like, they should be the center of the show.
Yeah, I agree.
By calling it the Rings of Power, and then it's like, oh yeah, Galadriel's doing stuff places. And there's a war down here, and there's Harfoots with the Stranger, and Elrond is building a tower where I guess they're going to forge the rings eventually, but also, like, the One Ring is forged in Mount Doom, which is not a place right now. Like, the show has so many things that need to happen. Also, that tower is going up so fast. How much time has passed on the show is wild to me.
No idea.
Which brings me to, some people are saying that the show is, that these things aren't all happening at the same time. And that we're going to find out that what's happening in the South is the past. And that Galadriel's gonna, like our Galadriel is the future of a Galadriel that will show up in that storyline and help out fighting in the South. And that...
No, she's going to the South. She's learned that... No,
I hear you. But there's a theory online that in order for all of this to work, some of these storylines are not taking place at the same time.
Interesting. Okay.
And so that there's some time shenanigans going on because the Orindir storyline has simply not progressed long enough for the tower to have been built.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the problem with the timeline of the show is that Orindir can only... The entirety of the Orindir arc across the 4 episodes is maybe a month.
Yeah.
He's with the orcs maybe a month.
Yeah.
Right? There just isn't a way for the dwarves and the elves to have built that much of Eregion's tower in 4 weeks.
But then also
not even because episode 2 is not. Yeah, like that's the problem.
But like
right?
the tower is going up, How long was Galadriel swimming for?
Not long. She can't swim for probably a day.
But if you're comparing, like timelines,
I would say more. How long was she adrift on the boat for?
Yeah.
Because there's a fade to black, and then she wakes up. That was probably a few weeks.
I guess.
Because by the time the Numerian ship finds them, they're like out of it, right?
I guess, but like.
But then how long does it take?
Because it can't be longer than like a few days, because Halbrand would die without water.
Yeah, so this is the problem with the timeline, right? Is that Orindir's storyline can't be that long, and so the timelines of these, with the tower being as tall and as big as it is, and maybe they're using that, and maybe they can just build that fast because they're dwarves. Like maybe that's the storyline that they're going with. But
yeah, I almost wish Galadriel and Elrond hadn't met in episode 1, because then I'd be more inclined to believe that Elrond went like a while back, and they've been working on this for a while. But
I'm still loving a lot about the show. But I don't love the show as a whole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things that I tune in because there are certain storylines that I'm like so excited for, but the way they've stitched it together and the way that like I'm not sure which storyline, like if Galadriel isn't in next week's episode and hers is the storyline that gets left out of next week's episode, wouldn't surprise me at this point. This was the week without the hobbits. Last week was the week without the dwarves. The dwarves weren't in episode 1. Like there are entire chunks of stories that just don't show up for an episode. And so I never know what experience I don't know. Yeah. I don't like that I'm struggling with this show. I don't like it. I want to like the show a lot because there is amazing work being done. And the money is on screen. It looks amazing. Yeah. But like I'm struggling with the show because it's stitched together weird.
Yeah.
And I don't like Galadriel.
I know.
Am I being sexist?
Why?
I don't know.
You're allowed to not like a female character.
I know, but the pushback against Galadriel is that there is an online pushback, like the people who are calling her Guy Ladriel and all of that stuff. I don't want to get lumped in with that. But like at the same time, like I just don't think she's being written very well.
Yeah.
And it does seem like every man in every scene tells her the right thing to do because she is like Elrond does it with Gil-galad, Elendil does it last episode, Halbrand does it in this episode.
Yep.
Like they've surrounded her with white men who mansplain how to like be diplomatic, and she keeps failing. And it is so bizarre. Not mansplaining. They're not really mansplaining. They're being rational.
Yeah.
I'm just joking that they're mansplaining because it's consistently white men that they've put her in these scenes with that treat her like a child, that treat her like she's dumb. But they're also, they've written those scenes not to be commentaries on sexism because the men are right in those situations.
Correct, yeah.
And she's wrong. It's very confusing. I don't know what they want me to get out of her character. And I'm sorry. I feel like we always talk for so long after these episodes because I'm literally trying to process them. And it's wild. This has been such a weird experience.
Yeah.
Because some of the show is so, like the Durin scene, that is so well written and moving.
Yeah.
And it's like, did different people write different storylines? That would be very funny if the Harfoot storyline was written by one writer.
No, that would be no. God.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll be back next week. We'll do episode 5 and 6, and we'll probably do all 50 because apparently Amazon legally has to do all 50, or else they have to pay a giant fine. So that's hilarious. But we will be back. And you can watch the show slowly break us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not broken. I'm kidding. I'm fine. I don't like some parts of it, though. I think that's fair, right?
Yeah.
We have promised that we will be honest. And now I'm like, I kind of regret it. Because I feel like maybe if I would just muster up the, like, vinegar to say that it's amazing, I'd get invited to the premiere next year, but we are not getting invited to the premiere next year.
Absolutely not. I honestly don't care. Yeah, it's cool to like go to premieres and get invited and shit, but like not gonna sit here and like lie, like fake a reaction to something. There's a lot of people, it's funny, in our comment section who's like, wow, you guys trying to shill, and or wow, you guys just say you hate it, or wow, you guys just say that you love it already. Like, and I'm like, it's a reaction. I am reacting in the moment, but thank you for telling me my reaction is incorrect. Very much appreciated.
The shill conversation I find so funny.
I know.
Because if we're shills,
so hard on this show.
like anyone who thinks that we're shills needs to go watch our finale review for Halo. If you really think that I shill for the studios, go watch the finale review for Halo. Go watch my reaction to the finale of Resident Evil that starts with, "Hi, I didn't react to every episode of this series because I literally couldn't. It's garbage."
Yep.
Like, I'm just gonna be honest, and I get it. People like come onto like our She-Hulk videos, right? And they're like, "How can you dislike Rings of Power but like this?" And I'm like, because my expectations are different. She-Hulk's 25 minutes, and I laugh a couple of times, and I'm happy.
They're very different. That's like saying,
there's
you
no
guys,
pressure on She-Hulk.
You guys liked How I Met Your Mother. Why don't you like Rings of Power? What? They're not. What?
But also, I think that we were fairly critical of episode 4 of She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Like, I think that even there, we're pretty honest. I'm enjoying that show because my expectations are lower. It's less than half the length.
Yeah.
This episode is literally an hour and 6 minutes long.
Yeah.
Like, they're long.
Yeah.
And there's a lot. Okay, question.
Oh, we're keeping going.
Is there too much slow-mo in this show?
Slow-mo? No, this is not Zack Snyder.
Okay. Outside of the action scenes, is there too much slow-mo in the show? I sometimes feel like there is a lot of slow motion in...
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I have not felt that.
Okay. I noticed it last week with the horse running scene on the beach. It felt like the slow-mo was like too slow.
That one was cringy. That is the only time I have noticed it.
Okay.
I actually think that having the slow-mo in the fight scenes is very cool and effective, and then having it for like the prophetic moments is cool and effective, and that's the only time I've really noticed the slow-mo other than the horse riding one.
Yeah, it's not as bad as Warcraft. Our Warcraft reaction is going up tomorrow. There's a scene where the main characters aren't in slow-mo, but the scene around them is. It's wildly confusing.
Yeah, that is strange.
Tune in for that. If you're a patron at patreon.com/nerdynightly, go over to the Patreon today. And the Warcraft reaction should already be up. That one will be up before this for the patrons. If you like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit that dislike button. Leave mean comments down below because the algorithm god is hungry and we must feed her. The algorithm god today is the Valar because they're crying. And when you cry, you have to replace the salt. And so leave salty comments so that the Valar's tears are replaced in their bodies.
Please and thank you.
Do you see where I went?
That was great, actually. Well done. That was your best yet.
Boom! I'm a funny man. I shouldn't say that. Wow, I feel like I feel like I come across as such a dick.
Why?
Because I say that I'm funny. Like, who says that about themselves?
Comedians.
That's fair. If you want to follow us around the internet, you can. I'm at Nerdy Nightly.
I'm at Claris Polaris.
I doubt anyone is still watching this video, but if you have made it all the way to the very tippy end of this video, I want you to write oranges in the comment section down below. And the first person to write oranges in the comment down below will be given a title on the next Rings of Power. At the very beginning of the next Rings of Power video, we are going to give you a title. And yeah, it'll be a fun. We'll do like a knighting ceremony for you. First person to write oranges in the comments.
Okay.
What? It's like it doesn't cost us anything. I can just give them a funny title and then.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
What's wrong with that? Why are you looking at me like it's a terrible idea?
Didn't know this was happening.
It's because I just made it up. Do something nerdy tonight.
Bye.
Bye.